shallow, actually.
Let's look at that.
What moved first? Was it your chest or was it your belly? Belly? Okay. Play with that sometime and see if you notice that in different states, if maybe, because I assure you that there are a few of you here that probably were breathing with your chest. And, we need to try to focus on quieting that movement down and having our bellies come and do most of the work. Okay? We're only really using our upper muscles here when we need to, our demand is greater. And so the belly should breathe first and it should move the most. And that the chest would move at a minimal degree and later. You generally are looking for your inhalations and exhalations to be about equal, but the exhalation can be slightly longer.
Is there a pause after that?
There can be a small pause, but you don't want to feel like you're holding your breath. The other exercise that you can do is what we call as a kidney squeeze. And you just take your hands and you place them on the very bottom of your ribs. And you should have, as you breathe in, you should be able to see that my ribs are going out like this because my diaphragm is pulling up on them. So just relax. Make sure there's no tension in your mouth, no tension in your neck. And you're just going to inhale here. And again, we don't need to breathe like we're working out. But we should be able to feel some of that movement there. And one of the things that's really interesting that I find, besides this biochemical, besides the mechanical, is that in Spiritus, meant not only breathing, but breathing in spirit, your soul. In Indian and Arab cultures, they said that a person's life was measured by how many breaths they took. And they believed that a person had a specific set amount of breaths. So, the question then becomes, how are you breathing? How do you want to live? And how many breaths are you taking to do that? Expiritus, or expiration, meant the breath that you had mixing it with the outside world and the outside spirit. So it's breathing in the spirit and then you putting your own soul out into the world with it. From the emotional and mental, we'll move back to the mechanical. The diaphragm here this is a photo of the diaphragm looking from the bottom up. So if you were to cut me in half right here and then look up like this, that's the picture that you're looking at. And here's your low back. This is your lumbar spine. This is your aorta. That's your esophagus. And you can see when I'm talking about how it cinches down with the action of the contraction of the diaphragm. So it's very important when we're talking about this, people's stomachs possibly protruding in a hernia up through that hole. The diaphragm, though, here, interesting connections with the psoas, this hip flexor muscle. So here's the diaphragm, and here's the psoas muscle, and they overlap each other in their connections to their spine. So one of the things I love to look at is increased hamstring length, activity of your low back muscles increases. Oh, here's one that might matter, low back pain. Okay? So what am I saying here? I'm saying that when this diaphragm action gets decreased, the activity or counter pull. So this is a pull and a counter pull. You see how that arrow goes up and this one goes down? This is your psoas. So this muscle gets inhibited, this guy takes over, and you pull your back and you get this going. So the hole that your spinal cord goes through shrinks up, or it's less because it's curving now more, and you get nice low back pain. You get a anterior tilted pelvis, and your center of gravity shifts.